also want to put it into perspective that I just read like 3.5 hours of porn before this. So reading this last was not a good way to end my day. I was already quite done with reading porn. And then you have to bear in mind, there was probably no way I was going to find any, if it was the whole
Well, that's what you get for doing your homework the day before it's due.
I was given the thing the day before. I was given this 2 days ago. So, you know, I think that also didn't help because there was no way I was ever going to find any of these things attractive because I was pretty much, I was pretty done. With reading porn.
You've read,
I've read so much.
You did your year's quota of reading.
I literally read like what I think is like a normal person's like month worth of porn in one day. You know, so I was pretty exhausted. And the fact that this came up and I just saw right through it right away. I knew exactly what they were going to do right from the start. And I was just like, you know, it's fine. You know, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me sad. And I don't appreciate it. Frankly, it's not.
I want a happy ending.
It's not done well. You know, the whole, the moment that her dad looked at her, I'm like, I see what you're doing here, buddy. And I'm not
Your next line is.
I actually, we keep talking about the dad, but I think the dad is the worst part of the doujin. Because it was just like, for me, reading the dad episode was just like, let's just throw in something fucked up.
I would rather eat my own toenails than read them again.
But it was after the dad doujin, the dad chapter part when I'm just like, yo, this is really engrossing as a story, right?
I knew it was going there. The moment he gave her a drug, I'm like, he is literally going to sell her later on and use drugs for it. It was so obvious it was going there. And so when it went there, I was like, I was not even surprised. The dad thing caught me off guard. I had a feeling it might happen. And then when it did happen, I'm like, for fuck's sake. God damn it. God damn it.
Because like, to me, it was just like, it was just the feeling of just being like, this is the most depraved shit. I shouldn't feel horny at all at this situation.
Are people jacking off to this?
I don't think so. I don't know. Probably someone.
Probably.
I mean,
Vsauce.
Because the thing is, it was that emotion juxtaposed between how amazing the sex scenes were. Because like out of context,
Extra down on this.
No, out of context. Out of context.
No, I don't think the sex scenes
the art was fucking amazing.
Half it was for fucking ugly bastards. So how am I supposed to get behind that shit?
I mean, it wasn't all ugly bastards.
It was main. Okay, so it was. We had two very big scenes with older men.
Yeah,
and it was just very gross because
I mean, there were 6 chapters and 2, maybe 3 of them were ugly bastards, and
which frankly, one is too many for me personally.
I mean,
so the fact that I read this shit and I thought it's bad enough she's fucking some random dude for money who is literally the ugliest man on earth. And then next it's like fucking Smash Bros introducing a new fighter, her fucking dad into this fucked up story already, which is already depressing as fuck because everyone in the fucking school has had a go at her. And it's just like that shit alone. I was like, you know what? Like yeah, sure, Japanese kids are fucked up, but like this is too much. This would never happen. No way in any school would this ever happen. Ever.
Well, it's interesting because like I interviewed Shindowell like a couple of years ago, and we talked about this. I was like, because I wanted to know, I was like, what inspired Metamorphosis. And he said that because he was born and raised in New York. So he was like, I heard and saw so many stories that were similar to this.
Right.
And he was like, I wanted to bring light to it because otherwise no one fucking talks about it.
I bet this shit has happened like separately.
Yeah.
Like all of these individual things.
No, absolutely.
Definitely happened.
Yeah.
But this isn't based off of real life.
I know. But the fact that like you string these all together to a point where I'm just like, I suspend my disbelief and I'm like, I don't know.
No, it's not supposed to be realistic, but it's supposed to be.
But
it's basically, I think, in my opinion, it was Shindowell being like, look, this shit happens.
But like I think about movies that fuck me up, and I think that could be me. I could make that mistake. I could be in that situation. In this one, I was like, this is.
Well, yeah, because you're not a chick.
Yeah, but even then, like I feel like it was trying too hard.
I think the most fantastical element was how much he enjoyed the sex, right? Because that was I feel that was the big difference between.
That was also an uncomfortable part. Because I'm like, is this good? Is it what she wants? I don't.
No, that's the one. That's to me.
That's the most interesting element.
That to me is what like drew me in. Was like the fact that she enjoyed the sex so much, which I know is like.
But with her dad, Vsauce music, what?
No. That's the point, right? Where it's just like it's such a mess of emotions that it's just like you have no grounding.
It questions your morality the entire time.
There's like no grounding on this kind of situation because. personally, I don't know anyone who's fucked their dads.
I'm glad.
And I want
I personally know 4 people.
and I kind of want to keep it that way, you know. Like that's just me. I don't know if that's a hot take, but like I hope that never happens to any fucking body.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's the point. It's fucked. It's fiction, right?
Yeah.
But like the thing that drew me in was that it was just these fucked up situations juxtaposed between sex scenes that she obviously really enjoyed at the time, right? And I'm just like, yo, this is like really weird. This is like a weird car crash of different fucking things that I shouldn't be feeling right now. But I'm just like, I don't know how to like. I'm still like processing it now,
right?
Because it's like the only time. The reason I call this a masterpiece is that it's the only time I felt this emotion that I'm trying to describe right now, right? Normally you get depressed. Normally you get horny. You don't talk about depression boner, do you? Like that just doesn't happen, right? But Metamorphosis is just these 2 fucking things that shouldn't coexist together.
Coexisting together.
Yeah, coexisting together. I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
It's
no, and that's why I think it's brilliant as well. It's because he took such a fucking risk with this, where he was like, this could have easily just been like a weird thing that no one would have picked up and then just like brushed under all of the, oh, okay, that's fucking weird. Let's not talk about that pile of doujins that are out there. But there was just, again, he just presented it in a way where it was just like, you came for the horny, but you're going to stay for the depression, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know any other doujin that's managed to do that and managed to make me stay the entire time until the end.
You ever seen the Shia LaBeouf movie, Nymphomaniac?
No, I haven't. That's like the 3-hour long one, right?
It's like there's 2 parts to it.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a really uncomfortable depiction of a woman who's addicted to sex.
Right.
I felt like that was really somewhat well done.
I've heard that's an interesting movie.
It's a very hard watch.
Yeah, really?
It's very long.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable because
it's that fucking like really avant-garde director.
Yeah,
right?
it is, and
What's
it's
his
one of
name?
those things where it's like, it really reminds you, like, you think you're cool with sex until you see it in really uncomfortable ways, and you're like, yeah.
Oh, it's the Lars von Trier movie. That's
I
right.
kind of do have weird thoughts about, because it really makes you be like, oh, you're comfortable with sex? Bet. Like, like, and I feel like, you know, having experienced that kind of weird shit, I feel like going into this, I'm like, yeah, I can kind of buy why she's into it, but also, I feel like it's been done better in different places almost. I'm not saying that movie did it better essentially, but I feel like I've seen it done in a way where I'm like, I think this is done slightly more realistic to the point where I'm like, I believe it.
Yeah.
Right, but it's hard to do, like, I get it how, like, you know, movies like Nymphomaniac probably did this whole thing better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Nymphomaniac has the upside of being more realistic by using real actors.
That's true.
Right?
I mean, we shouldn't like the biggest thing
I
is.
guess it's hard for me personally, who's never read doujins, to see this and be like, damn, that's art, man. That's
Yeah.
I mean, like,
It's a tall hurdle. We get it.
Right.
I mean, we literally just chucked you in the deep end and just like try to see if you could crawl your way out.
It's like I'm not used to this genre.
Yeah.
You know, there's
I don't think anyone is
all these kind of tropes in here, and then there's this girl who I'm supposed to believe is this kind of well done character, and I'm like, yeah, I don't believe it, man. Personally, at least.
At least you gave it a go. At least you can now say you read Metamorphisis.
I've read it. I'm not proud of that fact, Jerry. I want to undo the reading that I've done.
So what would you give it out of 10?
In terms of what?
In terms of just like how you felt about it.
4.
4.
It's an interesting read.
And what would you give it?
10.
Hell yeah.
Fuck off.
Hell yeah.
What does Sydney think of it?
I don't know what Sydney thinks of it.
You should ask her what she
And
thinks of it.
frankly, I'm afraid to ask because I
should be like, it's the hottest shit.
I've-
That
I've-
scene
I've-
where the
I've-
dad
That
fucks.
with the dad?
Yo,
I-
I'm nutted.
I have heard too many things that have worried me in the past few months of my relationship that I'm kind of afraid to ask her opinion of like any hentai right now. So
I guess we'll leave it at that then, huh? Jesus Christ.